Hello NR programmers. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to work with file paths in HTML. So what is a file path? A file path specifies the location of a file inside a web folder structure. File paths are used to link external resources such as images, videos, style sheets, JavaScript, etc. There are two types of file paths. We have absolute file paths, which is essentially just the full URL of the file you're referencing. And we also have relative file paths, which describes the path of the file relative to the location of the current web page file you're working on. So let's go ahead and take a look at these in action.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Cool. So here I have a really weird project setup, I guess you could say. So what we have here is a project called File Paths. And in this project, in the root directory, we have four things going on. One, we have an index.js file, we have an index.html file, an images folder, and an assets folder. In the images folder, we just have a simple picture, a .png file, a React picture. In the assets folder, we have an HTML folder, a pictures folder, and an index2.js file. In the pictures folder, we have an html.png file, so an HTML picture. In the HTML folder, an index2.html file. Cool. So first thing we're going to start off by doing is, so we have this index.html file here in the root directory of our project. If we wanted to go ahead and link this index.js file here, all we have to do is come over to line 12, add in our source attribute, and essentially to reference that index.js file, since it's in the exact same working directory, all we have to do is just write index.js. If we save this, open this up with live server. So let's look at the index.js in there. We just have a variable we declared as yo. We did a document.create element to create a h1 tag. For the text content, we wrote file is working. Then we appended that to the body of our HTML file. So now let's go ahead and open this up in the browser. And it says file 1 is working. Cool. So that's one way you can go ahead and link this index.js file here that's in the exact same directory. Another thing you could do is you could do period slash, okay? So the period slash slash index.js in this case is like the exact same thing as just doing index.js for us. It's gonna reference whatever file is in that current directory. So if we save this here, it's gonna work as well. So if we go to our file, it still says file 1 is working. Nice. So now let's say we wanted to link an image to our file. So we have an images folder here that has a react.png file. Let's say we wanted to link that. We would add our source attribute to the image, open up our quotes, and to have access to that, so one, we would have to step inside of this images folder and then specify the PNG, the picture. So to do that, we have to specify images slash, then the name of the picture. We save this, we get that on our screen. If we added a period slash, again, that's the same thing. Save it. We still have it right there on our screen for us. Nice. Let's say we wanted to get this picture that's in our pictures folder here, html.png. To get that, so let's see, we have this index.html file. So one, we need to step inside of assets. Then we need to step inside of pictures. That's when we'll be able to access html.png. So if we close this up, come here, we need the assets. Then we need pictures. And then you also see how the IDE just provides you some assistance as well when you're filling that out. It has like a nice little walkthrough that it gives you. So, yep, html.png. We save this. We come here. There's our HTML file. Awesome. Period slash. still there. Awesome. Cool. So now let's go ahead and work from our index2.html file. So I'm going to close this up here. And so again, so let's open our index2.html. So let's say for this index2.html file here, I wanted to link this JavaScript file here, which is saying file 2 is working. So in order to do that, I'd come over to our script. And again, we'd have to step outside of that HTML folder, and then we'd be able to reference that JavaScript file. So let's do src equals. And to step outside of a folder, you have to do period, period, slash, okay? And now that we step outside of that HTML folder, there's the index2.js, we save it. And now if we come here, do open with live server, we get file 2 is working. Nice. Let's say we wanted to reference, okay, before we reference images, let's say we wanted to reference this index.js file, which is in the root directory of our file paths project. What we have to do is, first we will need to step outside of that HTML folder. Once we step outside of the HTML folder, now we're inside of the assets folder. So, okay, so we have access to HTML, pictures, index2.js, node_express.png. Okay. So we actually need to step outside of the assets folder as well. Then we'll have access to the index.js. So what we're going to do is we're going to do another period, period, slash. And there's our index.js. We save this. File 1 is working. Nice. Cool. Now let's go ahead and finish up by linking an image here. So let's say, again, we're in this index2.html file. Let's say we wanted to link, I don't know, say react.png, that's in this images folder. First, we will need to step outside of the HTML folder. Next, we have access to HTML, index2.js, node_express, and pictures. We need the pictures folder, so we specify that. Slash, now we have access to the HTML file. Save it. Cool, we have the HTML file on the screen. And let's say, for example, we wanted to reference this index.js file and this index.h2.html file. Another way you could do it, instead of doing this, you could just do this, slash index.js. So if you just do slash like this, you don't have a period slash or period, period slash to step into like the parent folder or something. If it just slash like this slash is referencing the current directory of the project you're working on, the current directory of the web, okay? So if we go ahead and put the slash, now we're in the current directory. We have access to assets, images, index.html file, and index.js. So if we save this just like this, let's take out this image so we can actually see our text. Save it. We still get file 1 is working. Nice. So just to kind of wrap up, the 3 main things you need to know is, if you need to step outside of a folder, you need to do period, period, slash. If you need to step outside of another folder, you could just chain onto that, do another period, period, slash, okay? If you're trying to get a file that's in the exact same directory as the file you're working from, you can just specify the actual name of the file. So I guess you could say like index.js, or you could do, instead of just specifying it like that, you can do period slash index.js. That's if you're in the exact same directory. And let's say, for example, you're in a file that's nested inside of some folders, and you wanted to have access to that root. You just put the slash like this, and then you're at the root, and then you can just specify whatever you want to specify. Cool. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.